So I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
Yes, it is something we haven't done in a while, and I got a belated dad quote.
Hey! For for what?
It was for Indiana Jones, because that was the only movie that he, kind of knew. He knew what The Craft was, though, because when I was watching it, he was like, it's The Craft! And I was like, Dad!
You watched it at their house?
Yeah, I was doing laundry.
Oh, God.
But then I was like, do you want to give a quote about that? And he was like, no.
That's funny.
We'll do this one that I know you know. So I just sent it to you.
Oh, okay. I'm going to listen to it in 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I'm here with Dad. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay. So I'm going to ask Dad about a movie that we already did, but I didn't get a chance to see him. So what are your thoughts, or what do you have to say about Indiana Jones?
Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Oh.
We did Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was what we did.
Wow. Ooh, I like that one. Yeah. That was... Well, I don't... Ooh, what's that, a snake? I hate snakes.
Same, Dad.
Bear's a snake.
Oh, sorry. That's bear. I thought it was a snake.
Do you want to make any comment about Indy Woods?
Indy Woods, old grandpa. Indy Woods, the old detective. Yeah, that was grandpa. And little David was his second in command there, whatever. Yeah, that was a good one. I wish I still had the video.
Oh, we don't?
I don't.
We have it somewhere. Okay.
Mom's like,
All
we
right,
have
that's it for me.
Okay, and we're out.
Wait, over and out.
Oh my God.
I asked him about that to be like, why don't you explain it? Because, nobody understands what that means or, how it relates. And all he says is, oh, yeah, Grandpa was in it. As if, everyone
People
knows
know.
that. Yeah,
Sometimes I think he forgets that we're, putting this on a podcast. And he's like, hey, we're sending a voice note to Bridget.
Yeah, he has no idea. Absolutely no idea. I don't even remember much from it. I just remember that Grandpa wore Indiana Jones hat. His name was Indy Woods, and they filmed it in the 3 or 4 bundles of trees next to Grandpa's house, and that was the woods.
It was during Easter, and someone, I wish he remembered some of the
was
names.
Was this the Bozo, the bad Easter bunny?
Yes! Where Uncle Dave was an evil Easter bunny.
I thought Dad was Bozo, no?
Or was Dad?
I don't know now.
Dad was definitely another evil bunny character who was so funny because Dad only dressed like Danny Zuko for a point in time where he just would have black cutoff shirts and jeans. And I just remember that they wrote out a serious script.
Yeah.
And everyone had to get lines and remember the lines and what?
It's very on brand for that.
Do you love how all the kids, it's Easter and all the kids are to the side and all
Everyone's,
the adults have decided to make a movie? Yeah. They're like, shut up, kids. Eat your chocolate. We have something to do.
This is serious, guys. Indy Woods and Bozo the Bad Easter Bunny. Gosh.
Oh my God. And they want us to grow up. I mean, get out of here.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello there!
Hello!
Get your spells, get your potions, get your black eyeliner. We're getting after it.
That was my witch laugh. If I was a witch and I could fly, I would sound like that. They didn't use any brooms, though. These are modern witches. These witches don't need no brooms, you know?
These witches ain't your typical witch. That's for sure.
They're the 90s witch, y'all.
And Kate, who are we?
Oh, who are we? We're not 90s witches. I know, it's hard to believe.
Witches.
We're the modern witches. We're the podcasting witches. Oh my God. Okay, so we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And and we are not witches, but we are the weirdos, sir. Because that's a great line.
That was
So,
a great line.
Very great line. Yep.
That was a great line. Watch out for those weirdos, girls.
That specific scene brought me right back to the Hocus Pocus where they sat on the bus driver's lap and he was like basically like hitting on them.
Ugh.
And then I was like, if only that was this bus driver, and then these girls would be like, go fuck yourself or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Bridge, what's our movie this week?
Our movie is the 1996 witch classic, The Craft.
Is that how it's classified on?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I like that. That'd be cool if that was a genre. The witch classics.
Let's watch a witch movie.
Oh no.
But this was really fun to revisit, and I was definitely scared, but less scared than I thought.
That's
like
good.
My memory as a tween
Yeah.
was scarier when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I was like a little distracted by other things in the movie, you know?
Like Nancy's hair, because I was distracted.
Or just like she's such a good actress.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Wow. Okay, I feel like we've gone back and forth on synopsis. Is it my turn? Is it your turn?
It
It's
is
my
your turn.
Okay. So
So.
I'm gonna read the sentence I like to read.
Okay.
14 girl outsiders in their parochial high school.
14 girls?
Yeah.
They're not 14, right?
Oh, sorry, like 4
Ah.
teenage
4 space
girls.
Okay. I got it. Sorry.
semicolon dash.
Just checking.
comma.
Sometimes I get things wrong. Oh no.
No, I can read. They discover their talent for witchcraft, but when the black magical power goes to their heads, a karmic battle between good and evil ensues.
Whoa, drama! Witch drama! Oh my god!
So, these are modern witchcraft.
These are the cosmopolitan ladies of witchcraft, if you will.
There is no black pointy hats. There
No.
are no brooms. There are no frayed skirts and pointy shoes. Well, some of the pointy shoes, but it was actually more like cool 90s outfits. And you have 4 epic characters. The main character is Sarah, who is played by Robin Tunney. And she moves to this new area, which let's just call it an area.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
what in the living fuck was this location? They had a mansion.
Yeah.
They were somehow like in a major city with like scary, like homeless drug addict people around trailer parks, but also near like mountains. So no one knows where they flew, but they flew in somewhere.
I don't know. It was weird.
And also had some swamp vibes. So like all over the place.
There was a boa constrictor, and I wrote,
Yes.
"Is this the jungle?" I'm
Yes.
lost. Yep.
And she arrives and immediately goes to her mansion and just happens to have her high school uniform because then she gets immediately dropped off at high school.
Mm-hmm.
She has some freaky things happen, like you were mentioning, with giant snakes, and we're just casually thinking it's okay to see like boa constrictors on trees and what? So bizarre. So she gets to high school, and this is kind of where like the outsider thing kicks in, is she's trying to make friends, but it's a little hard, and you know, it's like moving to any high school, but she sees the epic 90s scene, which is the 3 other women walk down the teen hall, which is Fairuza Balk, who is Nancy, who is phenomenal.
Great.
Neve Campbell, who is Bonnie, who is also phenomenal.
I always forget she's in this movie, but yes.
Oh, yeah. And Rachel True, who is Rochelle, who is also phenomenal, but they ignored her, in my opinion, as more than they should have. And I think she should have had a better story than her dumbass story.
100% agreed.
And they're kind of like, they got the black and they got the gothic, but like you could tell there's a little witchiness to them. So eventually Sarah becomes friends with them through like awkward circumstances. And they are looking for this like 4th. And I guess you have to have 4 witches to like make some crazy stuff happen, which is very Captain Planet, you know? Like fire, earth, wind, water. Why do we need 4? What's wrong with 3? Nobody knows. Nobody actually answers that.
No rings up in here, but sacrificing of animals. Totally Captain Planet.
Yeah, that happened. So, and I think the scene that shows Neve Campbell watching Sarah levitate a pencil, and so she gets this like inside scoop. She's got witch powers, but Sarah doesn't really know what it means. scenes. And so eventually they become besties. And as they become besties, you know, it's girl world. So, there's
Drama!
who's the leader? Who's the follower? Who's running the show? What are they trying to do? But the one thing they have in common is, boy, oh boy, do they like some spells. And you slowly see how all of their lives are somewhat terrible. Like, they have something wrong with them, and each has like a different storyline.
Yeah.
And so they want to do these spells to like better their lives. And then they start to see it working. So they start to like believe that, like, holy cow, we can make stuff happen. And then it kind of just like fuels to then Nancy wants to invoke, not a god, they call it Manon. It's not a god, it's not Satan, it's everything. It's like Mother Nature times a zillion, but it gives you all these powers, it makes your life better, and she does it. She gets possessed.
She gets electrocuted possessed, which is an extreme possession, in my opinion.
And then walks on water, and we're fine with that. And what? So, so then that crazy power, all of a sudden, she's making stuff really happen. And before, I'd say Sarah's the one that kind of has all like the power, you know?
Yeah.
But doesn't know how to like harness it. And now Nancy is on a rampage. And so all of their spells almost worked too well that they felt guilty about how intense that the revenge or the way that it has reacted in their lives worked. And so some of them are unsure, and Nancy's just doubling down. And then it just gets to like climax scenes where people die.
They do.
Sarah's like, I want out. Nancy's like, oh shit, she's gonna tell everybody, and we're just gonna blame it on her. And you know what? Why don't we kill her too? Because I'm basically God at this point. And they do it in like a Mean Girls fashion, which is done so well. And I watched a lot of men review this movie and not get the subtlety of how brilliant,
of course,
they do this like girl group dynamic. Because it is brilliant, and the shit still happens today. And so then you end with this epic battle scene where Sarah then invokes Manon herself and then goes on an epic battle with Nancy, and Nancy loses. The other two girls lose. Nobody's got their powers. Nancy ends up in a mental institution.
Sucks!
Which was so terrifying. And Sarah's just like, well, I'm gonna just stay in my mansion with snakes and see what happens. And that's the end.
She's like, guess we'll see you around, guys. I'm like, but like, you'll see them a lot. Y'all go to the same school and you're in the same classes. Okay, bye.
I think I nailed that.
That was good.
Woo! Did I miss anything?
Well, you didn't include, which I thought you were gonna include based on, you know, information, the witch's store, because that's a pivotal point. There's this really cool witch's store in the movie, and there's this lady, and I don't know if she has a name, but she's like, hey guys, witchcraft hooray, here's a candle. And then she's like, Sarah, you are an actual witch, and you get to come behind my secret curtain, and I will teach you what you gotta do. And that like helps at one point.
She was like the Dumbledore of this.
Yes, somewhat. Yes. And we talked about this last episode. There is a witch's store near Bridget, and it's run by two men, which I love because I just don't know what's happening. I think they're hipsters. I don't know, but they're witch men. Is that like, is a man a witch? What
I think they're a Wiccan.
Well, I've heard women also be called Wiccan. So like, is that just a type of witchcraft?
You know, this is why we have to set up a one-on-one workshop with them.
Okay, well, that's $100, so I don't know if we can afford that.
I'll pay for it. It's our investment in this podcast that we're already recording now, so.
Oh, so it would be like our, like, research. I'm doing quotation marks because we just want to do it for fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, the only way to go is start to finish because the different scenes were wild because I didn't remember them all.
Me neither. There were like certain scenes where I was like, I don't know what's going to happen next. And I've definitely seen this movie.
Did you see the latest craft, like the new version?
I didn't because I think
neither.
it's going to not be good. Let's look up the reviews real quick, see what people thought of it.
The craft, it's called Legacy.
It has a 4.4 out of 10. So I probably won't be seeing that guy.
IMDb says no.
but,
Rotten Tomatoes says 47. Ouch. What is the regular Kraft rating? Just so we can show the difference.
It was higher. It was like in the 6s or close to 7.
70s. Okay. All right. First of all, can we just skip the fact that she like is in a plane in her school uniform? Like what? Like,
I don't think she was wearing her school uniform.
Yeah.
No, she didn't have that yet because remember on the first day the dad was like, hey, you don't have to start school right now if you don't want to. You don't even have your uniform yet. And she goes, oh, Dad, what am I going to do? Stay home and watch TV all day? And I was like, what the F is this made up teen angst bullshit? Yeah, girl, stay at home.
Way better. I thought she was in her uniform the whole time.
No, that was probably just like a skirt or because it was like that weird 90s fashion. So.
It was, Kate. It was.
know.
I was holding back and you started it. So
sorry, that's where we'll play the Fashion Police music right
I
there.
love,
So.
I love it. I love
it's the
it.
first reference,
But yeah, that stupid big ass snake in the tree on their way to their mansion in the swamp of the place we don't know where they live.
Well, and it's like raining, so I'm like, this is just some rainforest Fern Gully vibes. God damn it! I swear to God, if there's a stupid fairy flying through, I'm shutting this shit off. But there wasn't. So, but we come across the giant mansion, which again, I'm like, oh, that's cool. What does your dad do? Oh, we'll never know. It's okay. It's fine. But the roof is like leaking, wasn't it? Like something weird.
It was leaking.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I'm looking it up now. Apparently, they're saying it was like L.A., but not L.A.
But like, where's the traffic? I ask you.
They had boxes everywhere. The roof was leaking, and then some scary man just like breaks into their house.
I forgot about that part, and then it happened. I was like, I'm sorry. Who is this? What are we doing? And then she just goes, Dad. And then the dad's like, get out of here. Go on, get. Like he's like a squirrel who came in the door. And then the guy runs away. And I was like, what?
No cops are called. That's it. He's just like, you get out of here. You get.
He's got a little broom. He like sweeps him out. Yeah. No sense. And all the guy was saying was he was holding a little snake and he goes, I found this out back. Do you want it? And I know there was like some weird connection with that guy later in the movie, but like, I don't even know.
All I kept thinking is like, is this like hit you over the head foreshadowing? Like, it's raining. There's a scary man with a snake. Snakes are scary. Snakes are gonna come later. Snake. Who's a snake? Nancy's a snake. Ah! You know, it's like, okay, I'm following. But how about when her dad shoos him away and then she's like, Dad, there's a snake on your leg. And he just spikes the snake in half.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, there were weird reactions to things in this movie.
It was a little like, I'm not gonna like get overly excited or like whatever because I'm cool.
That's literally how she is though in the very next scene because that's when he's dropping her off and he's like, you don't have to start yet, it's fine. And she's like, oh, whatever, Dad. I'm gonna go to school. Jeez. And then he's like, okay, I'll pick you up. And she's like, I'll just walk home, Dad. God. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? This is weird writing.
I forgot it was like a Catholic school.
Yeah.
But I liked that because...
Did you? Or did your PTSD kick in?
I never like it. But
no.
I liked the fact that they're witches. They clarify that they don't worship Satan.
Right.
And then you had like Catholic school. So you kind of had this like swirly, like spiritual kind of... Like they bypassed making anything about it religious.
Yes.
And I thought that was like sweet.
Yes.
It was very seamless. Dug it.
Right. And, you know, like most kids in Catholic schools, nobody really gives a shit about religion anyway, so...
Nobody cares. Half the people in my class were Jewish. I was like, why are you here? They're like, this is a great school. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, so... But, oh my God, when you saw Nancy, where you're like, all my horrors as a kid, like, came back to me...
Well, she wasn't like super scary right away. And I don't know what 90s song was playing, but I was like, oh, the 90s are back and they're thriving.
Woo, thriving.
And Nancy, they go to her locker and Bonnie, she's like reading some book and she's like, this almanac tells me that something new is gonna happen to day. And they're like, whatever. And then she's like, maybe it's our fourth. And that's where you get this idea of like, oh, I guess they're looking for a fourth person. Feel like they probably could have found someone else prior to. I'm just saying, it's a big school. Go talk to the girl reading in the corner by herself. She'd probably be happy to have friends. But no, it's fucking fine. We'll be friends with the beautiful lady. Anyway, but Nancy has a noose in her locker. Did you see it? Because I synced it.
I was like, what in the world? And not only she of a noose, she was like hanging out of her locker holding the noose, just being like, yeah, I'm on my rag. And I was like, whoa, they really like went right in with the teenage
like, you want to talk
90s.
about foreshadowing? Homegirl's got a noose in her locker. So, yeah, great. Where is the school counselor? I ask you. Nobody cares about
Can
the
you
children.
imagine if you had to counsel Nancy?
Oh,
Kate?
no.
What would you do?
I actually
Oh my
would
God.
probably be like, Nancy, tell me more about this witch stuff, and I'm gonna write it down. And like, can you give me a spell to like, wake up on time easier and maybe not have to drink coffee every day? What do you think? Anything like that? That's how I would go about it personally.
And she would walk right past you.
And yeah, basically.
And then she does the like, oh God, this is a really boring trope of the new girl comes to class, she's in French class, nobody gets it, and she like says something in the back and everyone's like, ooh, new girl's smart. And then the main guy thinks she's cute and you're like, oh, this is so boring.
Skeet Ulrich! Yeah.
He is pretty scary, like, too, because I had some Scream vibes the whole time with him.
Well, he was like a scary character in this movie, and I was like, you could be the same character you played in Scream right now.
Yes.
And like, we might not know it because you're under a witch spell.
We don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot, but he's like, wow, hot new girl, gonna go hit on her later at lunch. I'm like, you better relax, sir. And this is the pencil scene.
Yep.
And Neve Campbell has a great reaction.
Well, and I kept thinking, Sarah, you just like bust out magic in class? Like, talk about like, really trying to make a first impression. You're speaking French and then you're just busting out your spell? It's like, what?
Well, and then later in the movie, she's like, sometimes I just like do things. It's like whatever. Sometimes I can like make myself go deaf for like 3 days. It's like whatever, guys. Like, no big deal. And I was like, but you can also make like objects levitate. I'm confused. Is that also not big deal? What is big deal, Sarah? Please tell me, because I don't know anymore.
Sarah needs her priorities straight in.
Yeah, honestly.
Wait, we also skipped over a very terrible and annoying character, which was Skeet Ulrich's friend.
I don't even know his name. He's the worst.
I'm reading it. It said Mitt. I don't remember that. But
like an oven mitt?
Like an oven mitt.
Oh,
and
no.
His actor name is Brecken Mayer.
He's been in a bunch of 90s movies.
Yes. I was going to say, he was like very popular for a while.
He was in Josie and the Pussycats, the undiscovered beautiful gem of a movie that I might be the only person who likes, so.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Love it.
But he basically like curses out the French teacher, huh?
Yeah, and again, I ask you, where are the counselors? Are the adults? Anyone concerned? Like, this is a Catholic school, so like I feel like you guys should like not tolerate that sentence.
No one cares.
Nobody cares. So here we are. This is how we get witches. Do you want witches, school personnel? This is how you get witches.
Okay,
Wow.
Okay. So she then gets into like lab chemistry class, and it's also a boring trope where she goes to try to talk to the girls and says, hey, can I be your lab partner?
Yeah.
And they say nothing. Nancy looks so scary, as she always does.
Yep.
And then Sarah's like, okay, like, fuck you, and walks away. And then Bonnie was like, wait, you can sit. Oh, man, that could have been a fourth.
Her character was kind of like very cliche in the beginning.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But then I don't even think she talks with them.
No.
The rest of the school day, and the only thing you see is like when she's eating by herself at lunch. What a loser new girl. Oh my God. And then that's when Skeet Ulrich, what his character's named?
Chris.
So Chris goes up to her and he's like, hey, new girl, hello, I'm Blue Blue. And then we basically basically get an exposition of the 3 witch girls that he gives.
Yes.
Because she's like, oh, those girls were so mean to me. And then he's like, let me tell you their backstory and read their resume bio. Here we go.
It was very flora fauna from
Very
Addams
flora
Family.
fauna. 100%. Like, they would all hang out. They should have their own talk show and, like, just, like, talk smack about, like, gothic people. I don't know. But we learn, like, what does he say about Nancy?
He goes, the one on the right is a major slut.
Oh, is that Nancy?
For Nancy. And then he goes, the middle one has burn scars all over her. And then I go, oh, and of course, we ignore the black woman.
That's what I wrote. I was like, why does he only talk about 2 white girls?
I know, and I was just like, what the fuck?
That's because there's nothing bad to say about her.
Well, I gotta tell you, like, that was a little tough with her character arc because I didn't believe her being mean.
Yeah.
Like, Neve Campbell, like, made me, like, her arc was like, oh yeah, you could be mean because you really, like, want this. But Rochelle was a little bit more, like, she felt guilty, like how Sarah felt. So I could have seen them split, and that would have been an awesome girl group, like, battle, 2v2.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then Sarah goes to Chris's football practice. No,
Ew,
Kate,
I literally wrote, I was like, Sarah, don't do it, honey. Like, I would rather you go hang out with the hobo with the snake than to go stand and watch this scrub try to catch a football. Because, like, what are we doing?
You gotta go buy your uniform. Like, you have things to
do.
do.
We have a to-do list, lady. Come on.
That was another thing. None of them ever had to be home with their parents. They were always out. No one ever cared what they were doing. This is pre-cell phone.
Yeah.
But basically, Nancy, Bonnie, and Rochelle are like, are you watching him play football? Like,
well, and they also, like, appear out of the bushes, which I was like, witch stuff! But I think they were just hiding there. I don't think that was actually, like, magic part yet.
But Nancy tries to do what girl tries to do. She's like,
yeah,
he ain't good. I know you're new, and I know I look scary, but I'm actually trying to help you. And, like, most girl conversation, she ignores her.
Yep. She's like, oh, I wasn't watching him. I'm like, oh, so you just like to stand next to gates? That's what you like to do in your spare time? Because you don't. So, good one.
I can't stop thinking about Addams Family. Oh, look at Tully romping with Gates.
Romping with Gates. Yo, I wish Sarah was romping with Gates, because that's better. That'd be better to romp with than stupid Chris, because he sucks. So, my God.
But basically, Nancy's like, listen, let's get out of here and go steal some shit.
That's great. I love it. Well, and then they're like, all right, now we're walking, we're going somewhere. And literally, like, there's no lead in. I don't even remember, like, how this comes up, but I think Nancy's like, hey, what's that on your wrist?
Oh,
and then Sarah's like, oh, I tried to cut my wrists and, like, you know, kill myself, but then I didn't, and here I am. And everyone's like, oh. Anyway.
No, do you know the line that Neve Campbell says?
You did it in the correct direction or something?
Yeah, she goes, you did it the right way.
Oh, the right way. Ugh.
I was like,
horrible.
The mental health trauma.
Not good. Yeah. And then Nancy goes, punk rock. And then it's like, yippee, let's go shopping. And I was like, that's the wrong reaction to have to that, but okay, great.
Kate, they really needed you at this school. Like, they really needed a counselor.
My God, I would be very busy, I'm sure.
You would be super busy.
My goodness.
Pray they don't put spells on you.
Oh, no.
But we go right to the witch's store, which...
Woo!
Ooh! Okay, I'm sorry, but if you are listening and you have never been in a witch store, get out that Google Maps and you go find one, because this shit is awesome.
Oh my God, it looks so cool. I want to go there.
So cool. Books, candles, sage. I mean, cool people telling you what to do with things, and it can relate to anything in your life. And just go be a witch. Like, go do it.
Let's all be witches, guys. Do you guys want to do that with us? Like,
yes,
I'm ready.
Please.
Bridget and me are only 2 people, and apparently we need 4. So, we need only 2 of you guys. Somebody commit.
I was gonna try to make a pun, like, instead of like sisters who's seen it, we were like witches who's seen spelled.
Witches who burn shit.
Hey! But yeah, she gets this, you have this sprinkle that Sarah's a natural witch, right? And the woman is like, she's like, oh, I don't know anything about this stuff. And she's like, oh, maybe you're a natural witch. And she's kind of like, listen, you're going to get some scary shit happening to you in a couple weeks. That's what our time frame is. And I'm going to need you to believe you're a natural witch because you're going to have to be tough. You're going to be tough, Sarah.
She also gives her a literal introductory witch book. And Bridge, did you catch the name of it?
The Craft.
Ding, ding, ding. We got a title, people.
They were not subtle. This whole movie was like, it's saying our fourth is coming. Here's a snake. Snakes are evil. Like, that's Nancy. She's a witch. Stay away from her. It's like, this is bad. It's like, oh my God, this whole movie was just like telling everybody what was going to happen.
Pretty much, yeah, basically. So, right after this, somehow this whole excursion took 8 hours because now it's late at night and now we're walking through the scary streets, which are very packed with people and I don't know what's happening. And Nancy magically runs into the same exact guy with the same snake. I guess he didn't find anyone to give it to, so he's hanging on to it. And then he's running after her and he's like, I had a dream about you. And then Sarah gets scared and runs away. And then...
I didn't believe this part.
He gets run over.
I didn't believe what they all thought it was, which is...
Oh, me neither.
We all wanted him to get run over, and we did it. And I was like, he was like a drug addict with a snake that walked into the street of, like, busy L.A.
I was going to say, y'all are in L.A. Have you ever driven in L.A.? Because it sucks. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's lots of people getting run over, which is horrible. But
Bonnie is doubling down. She's like, do you know what this means?
She literally was like, we killed a guy! You're like, oh no, Bonnie, wrong. Again, another inappropriate reaction.
Suicide to now celebrating murder.
Yeah.
And like, it's cool because we're teen girls. Like, it's cool. Yeah, we did it. We have power. It's so messed up.
It's very messed up. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, and then you very quickly see like Nancy is kind of like, well, like, it's not like our fault. It was just like magic. And I was like, well, damn, Nancy already with the gaslighting? That was fast. My God. Happened so quick. Blinking, you'll miss it. Oh no.
And Sarah quickly is like, wait, so do you worship the devil? Like, what are the rules?
Yeah, she's like, are we gonna,
she's like,
what's happening?
I guess we just killed someone, so now we're sisters for life. And literally, like, then Nancy goes into the, like, explanation to things and is like, everyone thinks it's this. Like, this is where this movie did it right on no brooms, no witch hats. Like, she was like, listen.
And no devils.
No devil, okay? Witches worship Mano. And you're just like, what?
Huh? Who?
Okay, so I read that they had a witch as like a consultant on this film.
Do you know the name of the witch? Can we contact this person?
I honestly
Can we interview this person?
I tried to find their Instagram.
Oh no!
And I like got nowhere. But I think it's Pat Devin.
Is Pat a man witch or a lady witch?
Or a
they them witch? Okay.
A lady witch. And title is High Priestess and Public Information Officer of Covenant of the Goddess and an Elder Priestess. I'm not making this up. Of the Dianic Feminist Spirits Tradition. I'm not making this up.
Wait, what? Who's got it? I got lost. I got lost in the second word. I don't even know.
Oh my God.
My brain's not comprehending.
I'm sending this to you because, like, what? Oh my God.
Did I hear feminists in there?
Yeah.
Are the witches going on a feminist movement? Because I'm definitely joining then. I'm ready to go.
Oh God.
I'm ready to fight the male witch patriarchy that probably also exists because everything sucks.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. Did you read anything about Fairuza Balk and the witchcraft stuff?
Okay, yes.
Okay,
but wait, let me go back to this lady. So she said to them, I will help keep you on track with like the spells, but you can't actually use a real spell.
Yeah.
So all of like the phrasing and the types of spells, nothing is actually what someone who's a real witch would use. And so even Mano is not like an actual like god.
That's good.
Which I thought was a very responsible thing because like the movie could have been terrible and no one would watch it and who cares, but the movie blew up.
Yeah.
And can you imagine if you had like a million teenage girls being like actually putting like witch stuff
being
out there.
electrocuted on beaches and then bodily possessed? No, that would be the worst.
Okay, but Fairuza Balk, from what you were saying, what did you read? And I'll tell you what I found.
So I just remember reading that, I guess, going through the filming, she started to really get into, like, I want to say it was like Wiccanism. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but like into kind of all that stuff. And then even after the movie ended filming, she still was like into that, and I believe still practices now. Is that what you found?
So she bought a witch store.
What? Where is it?
I think she's since sold it.
Oh.
But a lot of what people thought about her, like, Wiccan piece was a lot of movie role stuff.
Oh.
So I then read she since kind of debunked it.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna say, because if you read her, like, Wikipedia of her life, she's one crazy badass mofo, and she's definitely a witch. She's this, like, crazy free spirit. Like, I could definitely see her doing some spells on the weekends.
Yeah.
And just telling everybody whatever they need to hear to leave her alone.
Well, and I also read, this isn't Fairuza Balk specific, but I did read that there was a point when this movie was being filmed where some freaky stuff did happen on set, and I don't have any examples of what those freaky things were, but
I will.
Okay.
I will. So the scene where she actually tries to get possessed and they're on the beach and they bring the crazy animals.
Yeah.
They would set up the, like, candles and the, like, pentagon kind of whatever format.
Yeah.
And every time they would, like, get it ready to go, like, crazy tide would come in out of nowhere.
Ah!
You know, you could plan some of that stuff on time of day and this and that, and apparently it just, like, constantly was getting ruined and ruined. So, and then I think they said there was, like, a lot of, like, weird, like, birds that would show up and just, like, I think it was some weird juju, which, it freaked me out.
That's scary. I love that.
So fun. So, okay, so we get into this, like, holy cowsies, we're a foursome, and we're about to do some crazy stuff and get after it. And of course, Sarah's like, cool, I'm gonna go make out with Chris.
Yeah, I'm gonna go make out with him on a roof. Deuces bye. And what? That was like...
What a crazy first day. Like, did she get home at 1 a.m? Like, does her dad even care?
I don't think he cares.
Oh my God.
Clearly not.
But Chris does what high schooler boys have done. And
Yeah.
I remember it. I remember my friends having this done to them.
They're like, come on home to my house. No one's home. And she's like, nah, thanks. And he's like, that's cool. No problem. The next day he's like, she's such a slut and we had sex and she was bad. And you're like, what the...
I just was like, wow. Yeah. And then, so we see Sarah's like, okay, here's her story that she liked Chris. He said mean stuff and she's mad at him. But, like, that's her story. You're like, okay. I mean, there's, like, a lot of other problems in your life, but okay.
Your mom also was dead. Don't forget
also
that.
Has, like, suicide star. Like, maybe, okay. All right, well, then we move on. And Rochelle, we move on to Rochelle's story, right?
Yeah.
So disappointing.
Okay, Okay.
She's got a good fun fact story, too, that I need to mention at some point.
So Rochelle is Black. Her whole thing is there is this, I guess, popular, pretty blonde high school girl who is really mean to her. And you could maybe even argue is, like, bullying her. And they happen to be on the diving team together. And what I don't understand is, and I feel like this was a little, like, I don't know why this was a choice made, and I guess maybe it's related to the arc, was like, every time she was diving, like, she never wore a swim cap, but everybody else was wearing swim caps, and it was, like, kind of weird, and I didn't know if that had any relevance, or if it was just, like, we don't care.
Oh my God, I don't even know if I paid attention to that.
Because the whole thing is, like, she gets comments made about her hair.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, so is that why, like, you aren't wearing a cap? So that it, like, draws attention to that? Because, like, this movie, like, really wants to beat you over the head with the foreshadowing? I don't know. That threw me off, though.
That fits. This movie is not subtle. I mean, literally, Christine Taylor, the character's name is Laura, is basically like, I hate you because you're Black.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck?
Yeah.
And it was white, and I was just like, oh my god, what? And, okay, so I read the backstory, Rachel True, her agent at the time, by the way, do you know how old she was?
Was she like a lot older?
She was 30.
Oh,
Playing a high
Oh,
school.
my.
You're like, and I wish I was like, I mean, she like wasn't Dawson's Creek old, but like she looked a little older, but like, wow. So she said to her agent, she read the script and she's like, I want to play this. And at the time, the role, this character had an eating disorder, and that was like their story. And then her agent didn't even like believe she would get it. So she literally fired her agent, got a new agent, and then the new agent's like, we're gonna do it. And then she gets the role. This is like, to me, the most extreme thing ever. And then all of a sudden they flip the storyline that it's like racist. And I was
Jesus.
like, what in the fuck? So on the flip side, I read her talk about this movie saying, honestly, in the 1990s, there was no black representation.
Yeah, that's
so this
true.
was actually, like, she didn't almost give a shit about the racist story because it was so powerful at the time to be so popular, like, in mainstream.
Yeah.
And be, like, a main character. But looking back, I'm like, they could have, like, done better. Like, I think they ignored her a little bit.
I wonder what the eating disorder, like, what was gonna go alongside that.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, so I had to share all that, but that's the story is wild. She's like, this girl hates me because I'm black. It's 1996. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Ugh.
and none of the girls who are like friends with her ever bring up like the race element, like ever. And she doesn't even really explicitly say like she's a racist and here's what she said. She's like, that girl's so mean to me. And you're like, well, it's like worse than that, but sure, let's sugarcoat it, I suppose. What?
Well, and I love how the diving coach says nothing.
Doesn't give a shit. No, doesn't care.
Yeah. So then you get Rochelle's arc, and you're like, yeah, I can see why you're pissed. And we immediately then jump to Neve Campbell in a hospital, and we see the burn scars. Kate, do we know how she got burnt? Does anyone know? Does anyone know?
I don't think we know, or I don't know what's happening.
Okay, and like, okay, hold on. I understand if you have burn scars and you're a teenage girl and that makes you insecure. Okay. But why don't you like wash your fucking hair? Because like she had like greasy hair. She never brushed it. And then all of a sudden she like gets the burn removed and she's got like kick-ass hair and wears makeup. And I'm like, I don't understand. You could still like cover your scars and have like great hair, right?
Well, and when her like skin gets better, then it's like, now I'm not going to wear a jacket, but I'm still going to wear tops where you don't see my back. And I'm like, so what's the point? Because like, I'm confused. You could have done this the whole time.
Well, and she didn't have burns on her chest. So like she just like showed her tits the whole time. Yeah. But how about that like horrible scream in the hospital when like with the needle going in and out?
Oh, I know. I hated it. I hated it.
Yeah. And then do we see Nancy's story? Because
Nancy's is just like, she's walking home alone in the rain, and then she goes to her trailer park home, and everyone there sucks, and then she like goes to bed, and like that's...
It's like her mom's a drunk. Well, I got the sense that her stepdad was a little touchy.
Oh, definitely. He was
like,
definitely a sexual harasser and maybe more.
And then she just starts chain smoking in her room. And you're like, what?
Which, you know, that trailer, guys, like, if you smoke in one room, like, you're smoking in all the rooms, you know? So, boy, oh boy.
Wow. And then, of course, Sarah has some other traumatic memory about her, like, wrist, like, slit again. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just like, wow. Like, a lot. So you're like, okay, they all got problems. We're up to speed.
Yep.
You know? Loud and clear.
They're like, all right, that was fun living through the, you know, everyone's trauma. Let's go on a bus trip. Woo! Let's go to the woods. I think there's woods closer to where we live because everybody's near woods, but we're going to go to these woods on a bus. So let's do it.
They literally could have done this in someone's like backyard.
They could have gone to Sarah's mansion and hung out with the boa constrictor next door because there was plenty of space to do that.
Oh my God. And they say the infamous line, Kate?
I was just gonna say, light as a feather, stiff as a board. No, they say,
watch out for those weirdos.
Oh, that
girl.
line. I thought you wanted me to say the like witchy thing that they kept repeating. And I was like, I definitely don't know, Bridget. I'm not a witch yet. I'm sorry. Oh, no.
No, the weirdos line.
Yeah, we are the weirdos, mister.
I loved it. So good.
So good.
Okay, real talk, Kate. When you were young, did you try to do any of this crazy shit with your friends for sleepovers?
Like what?
Like the blood thing. They put like their blood in a cup.
Oh, like the blood. I did not try to drink other people's blood.
Like, perfect love and perfect trust. And then they like say crazy shit into the universe. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Did you do any of that?
I feel like I probably did the light as a feather, stiff as a board at some point. Yeah, it didn't work the same as, theirs did. And I've definitely never drank blood. And I've definitely never had someone pointing a dagger, like literally into my heart as I have to say the correct words to something or else I get shanked.
Nancy held a knife a lot. She held a knife a lot in this movie.
Yeah, that was the scariest.
Well, maybe it was just my childhood.
You did? Are you a witch? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You did all of these things?
No, I didn't do all those things, but
What
I
did you
definitely
do?
remember doing some of them.
Like what?
I don't remember drinking blood, but I definitely remember like pricking our fingers and like putting it on the ground. But like when you're a kid, it was like the littlest dot. It wasn't, but I remember like having crazy like knives and like, I don't know, like trying, because we would build forts and like cut stuff and
oh my God.
nobody watched me.
Yeah.
Nobody knew anything I was doing.
Clearly. Jesus.
Yes. Okay. And then how about they drink each other's blood, which is way too close to my girl, way too unsanitary.
Oh, people don't forget.
People don't forget. And then they say crazy stuff like, blessed be, and then butterflies appear, which I guess means like, I got you, your spells are spells now?
I don't know, because some of these spells are effed up. So Sarah was like, I want Chris to like me. And I'm like, ew again,
boo.
Sarah. Like, priority. Like, you have a dead mom. I'm just saying, like, there's so many better things we could wish for. And then Chris becomes like a literal zombie who just like follows her around. And that's like my nightmare. Like, I immediately be like, the spell backfired. It backfired, guys. He literally keeps talking to me. It's the worst. Quick, somebody change it. This is horrible. Like, I would hate it. I would absolutely fucking hate it.
Neve Campbell's to me was the like most realistic. It's like,
yes.
I have burn scars. The burn scars are gone. You're like, we're following.
Yeah,
we're following. We got it.
Yes.
Fucking Rochelle is like, this racist bitch doesn't need to like change the way she thinks on being racist. We're just gonna make her lose her fucking hair.
Yeah. And they had to do something extra for this because everybody else's, they just like drank their blood and said they're a little wishy and like cool. But like for her, Sarah had to literally rip out some of this girl's hair in the hallway and then she braids it into Rochelle's hair.
I hated it.
Guys, germs.
That was very Blair Witch. Like, if I'm gonna pull that up.
It was very Blair Witch.
And then Nancy is like, I hate you all because mine isn't working. But then she like turns it on and basically like stares down her stepdad to make him die. Is that what happened?
I think so. And the microwave catches on fire and everything's happening and it is. Yeah, there's a lot. And then he is dead. But it's cool because the next scene, Nancy and her mom are given like a company like life insurance policy, something like payout of over $125,000, I think. And then they're like, "Yeah, you're right."
They were like celebrating. I was like,
yes.
"Oh my God, the awkwardness of this."
So, Bridge, if you were gifted with I think it was about $125,000.
I put $175. So
that's
we were
way
close.
more. Okay, well,
we're both kind of close.
Yeah, if you were gifted with that money, how would you go and spend it? Because the way that these ladies spent it was kind of dumb. I think.
I think I'd get a jukebox that only played Connie Francis.
I was so stupid. I was like, is this at all relevant? Anyone at all want to let me know?
It wasn't.
No,
it was.
Cool.
Kate, what would you do?
Not buy that or the stupid ugly couch. That's for sure. Holy moly.
Oh my God.
I was like, this apartment is empty. Why do you have a stupid jukebox? You don't even have like a table. Where do you guys eat? What's going on? I hate it.
was so ridiculous. And then they're like constantly having like giggly sleepovers, and then the light as a feather, stiff as a board, where they lift her up. And like you said, we all tried that as a kid, and no one got lifted ever.
No.
We all of our fingers were like breaking and shaking while holding each other up. And you just start to see all these people, like Chris really becomes stalker. Laura really loses her hair. Like she doesn't just like get a couple hairs lost, like she's balding.
Yeah.
And obviously Nancy kind of put the kibosh on her stepdad. And then I don't know. And then Neve Campbell's now walking around like a big old hoe.
I mean, like she kind of is, but like she could have been hoeier, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, she just kind of would say stuff that I thought was like extra. Like she'd be like, nice ass.
Oh yeah. I'm like, oh, that's harassment. I don't have to take it. So
kind of, and thought that was weird.
It was weird. They revisit the witch store, I think because of something. And the lady is like, hey, you guys are all little naive witches. And then she's like, whatever you send out, you get back ×3. And they were like, we don't care. And then Nancy's like, I found this scary book that moves things on its own, so I'm gonna buy it. And then she does. And then we go to the beach. This is the scene I think a lot of people remember from this movie.
So, okay, I gotta tell you, I didn't remember the scene.
What do you mean?
I knew she got possessed, but I didn't remember them bringing animals, like to sacrifice.
Yeah.
I didn't remember her walking on water, and I did not remember her getting electrocuted and then Jaws style killing a bunch of sharks.
Oh, yeah, I know. Lots of dead sharks. It's effed up. And CGI lightning. Can't forget it. Indiana Jones style. Okay, get ready.
In this seance on the beach, we were literally on a Six Flags ride. Like, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, it was crazy.
It's so true. Yeah, it is so true. Some of the editing, you're like, trigger warning. I need nausea pill.
But Nancy got like spooky when she was like, he's in me, he gave me these gifts. I was like, can I tap out? Put the lights on, windows open. I need some emotional carrots.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And they see her walking on the water and they're just like staring with their mouths like hanging open. And I wrote, I too have no words for this scene because
she
I'm
doesn't
scared.
Say anything. She's just like, hey.
Yeah, she's like, now I'm Jesus. What up? Worship me, bitches.
Yeah, just and also the fact that they were there all night.
All night.
Their parents, nobody cared. Nobody cared what they do.
Nope.
And we get to a scene where Sarah starts to question it all, and this threatens Nancy because she's like, Bonnie, you're narcissistic, and are we sure this is a good idea? And Nancy's like, shut the hell up!
And then it turns into the Fast and Furious because homegirl's like speeding down the highway. And again, I ask you people, where is the traffic? You want me to believe this is LA? Get out of here. No way.
And no one knows what time it is because nobody knows if they have to go home or go to school or anything.
Yeah, I don't even know.
But somehow Sarah's like, I'm gonna go meet up with my stalker Chris.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna hang out alone.
Horrible.
On like Lookout Point, and everything's gonna be fine. And he tries to like rape her.
They literally were at like that place in Greece where like Kaniki and Rizzo are literally having sex. I was like, are they over there? Because what's happening?
Kaniki's in the back. He's like, hey, be quiet.
Yep, Chris becomes a bewitched rapist, which is everyone's worst nightmare. We all hate it. Hate to see it. But she does run to Rochelle's house. Luckily, she knows the way through the jungle to Rochelle's mansion because she also lives in a mansion. And yeah, and then Nancy is there, and Nancy's like, son of a bitch, I'm gonna go get him! And then Sarah's like, whoa, Nancy, it's fine. Like, no big deal, you know? And then Nancy's like, no, I'm gonna go get him.
But you're kind of like, oh, Nancy, that's like cool of you to stick up for me. But like, you were walking on water. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're gonna stick up for me? And this is when I think she really like loses her fucking mind.
Well, and do you think she really wanted to go to like help Sarah? Do you think she wanted to go to get some bow chicka wow wow?
She wanted some bow chicka wow.
That's what I thought too. Yeah,
she played it off, but they did this really well. They did that like glamour trick in an earlier sleepover.
Yep.
And Nancy being able to like make herself look like Sarah, and he's drunk. I mean, it was was kind of cool. I was like, that's a cool, whoever thought of this like storyline, I dig it.
He's such a dingleberry, honestly. And like, first of all, he runs up to her. Like, she doesn't even look for him. She's just chilling. And he's like, oh my God, Nancy, I heard you're here. Is Sarah here? Anyway, what? Let's go upstairs. And then she's like, we used to make out and do stuff and you liked it. And he was like, yeah, but like, now I like Sarah. And then that's why she like becomes Sarah. And it's like really creepy. I'm like,
it's
ew.
so creepy. This is when I was like, oh, I'm so afraid of her.
Yeah. And the girls quickly rush to the party because they're like, we gotta cock block this because there's just, it's not good. Not good, guys. And, well, what happens to Chris, Bridge?
He, I guess, like, gets, like, not pushed, but, like, somewhat pushed out the window through her magic eyes.
Yeah, something.
He, like, falls, but, like, she made him fall.
Yeah.
Well, and then, instead of us, like, being in shock or grieving a horrific death, we just, like, lay on our bed and talk to our dad and say, like, how crazy it was that our friend died, and then we just go back to school.
We do. Right? And she's like, get away from me, Dad. You don't understand my witch life. And he is very happily like, all right, good. I gotta go. Because I'm like, just trying to not be in the same room as you at all times. So here we go. Yep. She does try to do a binding spell against Nancy where she wraps a little ribbon around Nancy's picture and says some stuff. And, you know, that's cool. And Bridge. Then Sarah has a nightmare. And it was also your nightmare.
I hated it.
So,
I hated it.
Yeah.
They all fly into her bedroom and like scare the living crap out of her, but it's a dream. But is it a dream? But nobody knows, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that in all honesty, because they make it sound like it wasn't a dream, but I was like, but it was, but I don't know witchcraft, so maybe that's something we can do. I'm not sure.
We'll ask it at the concierge workshop.
Add that to our list of questions.
But yeah, then this movie goes from a speed of a 50 to 500,000.
Oh my God.
Because then it's like, all right, we're gonna now tell you your parents died, your dad and your stepmom, and then we're all gonna try to come over and basically try to kill you.
So, okay. I personally felt like, and this is again going back to Rochelle, how it wasn't super believable, how she was just like, balls to the walls. Okay, yeah, let's kill her. Like, I did not believe that.
I didn't believe that. I thought now Neve Campbell like really dug her teeth into it, and Nancy did too. And the whole like, you know, if you go against a witch in their covenant, you get killed. And I like see them both being there, but I didn't think Rochelle would. But that she was like nicer. So
no, I was like, is Rochelle getting peer pressured? Probably other stuff that girls experience, and not as much boys. Well, sometimes boys do, but not as much.
Not as much on a psychological level, right? Yeah. Like I felt like, and I wrote in like capital letters, like this is how it feels in girl world. But yeah, I watched some reviews of dudes, and I was like, they don't get this part. This is a very female understood experience of one day you're in, the next day you're out, and you think your whole world has ended.
Well, and they also, it's interesting how they don't actually go themselves to try and actively kill her. Their plan is, no, we're gonna make her like kill herself, which is also very twisted and creepy and peer pressure-y. And I mean, they use like the magic and the scary stuff to kind of like encourage that. So they do like all the snake and bug. So here's what I wrote down that we saw hallucinations of: snakes, bugs, rats, spiders, scorpions, cockroaches, more snakes, probably other stuff. And then Nancy, and oh my God, it was a lot happening.
They did this really well though. And okay, those were real bugs.
They all looked real, honestly.
Real snakes.
Yep.
The only thing I read, which is funny to me, is it was cold, so a lot of the snakes fell asleep.
Oh, snakes are sleepy.
So they had to like use a little CGI to make them look like thrashy and moving, but it was really creepy. Like, I definitely had dreams of scary stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought Robin Tunney was really good at being, like, terrified and also, like, who's dead? What to believe? I don't know what's happening. Nancy's trying to kill me. Oh my God.
Yeah. And so then basically when Nancy's like, you're gonna, like, kill yourself. And then Sarah's like, no, I'm not. And then she's like, yes, you will. And then Sarah's like, wah. And then Sarah runs upstairs. And, like, again, nobody, like, chases her because they're like, whatever. Like, she'll do it. We'll just, like, chill out down here in the living room. And you're like, okay, this is all right. We got the time. Sure, I suppose. But that was dumb of them because then Sarah does her own witch spell. And she... So, like, okay. So this spirit, or whatever we want to call it, the Manu, right?
Okay, I think it's spelled Manon, but all I heard them pronounce is Mano.
Mano.
That was how I heard them say it.
Okay. So Mano, like, what? He just gets jerked around to anyone who, like, does this, like, spell? Because, like, that kind of sucks. Like, he has no control over where he gets to go. I don't even know if it's a man, by the way. I just am giving him a pronoun.
We can do whatever we want.
Okay.
I feel like, and I read a really good theory, is Sarah is the only one with powers.
Yeah.
So she, being the fourth, is what helped Nancy actually get Mano.
Okay.
And so because she has these still powers, like, she can get Mano herself.
Uh-huh.
And so I think Mano's like, yeah, man, you gotta fight this. And this turned evil.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that Nancy would do evil with it, but she did, because you backed Nancy, and now that you're not buddies, like, I'm gonna come help you. So I looked at it more as like, okay, you're the one that always had the power, and now you're believing you do, and so let's fucking put this woman out.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really cool theory. That
I like
Sarah
that
the whole
theory.
time is the only one that has the powers, and none of the rest of them do.
That makes a lot of sense, honestly. Because pretty quickly, you know, that process, she don't gotta get electrocuted on a beach or nothing weird like that. Like, it just happens and it's fine. And then Bonnie and Rochelle go upstairs to, like, check on her, and they look in a mirror, and it's like, oh my God, Bonnie has scars, and Rochelle's losing her hair, and they literally scream bloody murder and run away. And then they're gone. So
I thought that was so funny.
What? I thought it was funny too. I was like, okay, good one,
and
guys.
Nancy was so pissed. Which I thought, why would Nancy, like, use her powers to keep those two? But she, like, didn't care. She was just like, oh, okay, bye. You're somehow okay, bye.
Yeah, it was weird. And then this is now the showdown with Nancy and Sarah. And yeah, you pretty quickly know Sarah's the one kind of running the show, because Sarah literally walks out of a mirror. Ma'am, that's not a door. No. Oh, boy.
And then makes Nancy, like, see cockroaches coming out of her dress sleeve.
And she gets bad CGI snake fingers.
Snake fingers and...
Ooh.
Oh, my God. Okay, cool scene of a dresser gets chucked at Sarah, and we think Sarah's dead.
Oh,
because,
scary.
Well, basically, Nancy, like, was like, okay, you're more powerful than me. You win, white flag. And then Sarah's like, okay, I'll bind you. And Nancy's like, no.
And she's like, rah! Yeah, she is not like that. And Nancy still has her knife. I don't know how we didn't drop it in all this chaos. And she goes...
that knife all the time.
She goes to shank Sarah's, you know, schoolgirl uniform, which she just got a couple weeks ago. Don't rip it. We don't have time to order a new one. But Sarah appears and kicks her. And then, yeah, she doesn't, like, die. Nancy just gets, I guess, knocked out. And then she does the binding spell. And then, you know, the next scene, it's daytime and life is great again. So, good morning.
I don't know if it's great for Nancy, though, because where does she end up?
Oh, yeah, she's in an institution, and she's, like, tied up, so woof.
Can you imagine Angelina Jolie seeing her come in talking about how she could fly?
Oh,
with,
Jesus.
Like, mirror scars. Angelina Jolie is like, I'm about to kill this bee.
Winona Ryder's, like, aggressively writing in her journal, like, oh my God, you guys, wait till you hear about this one. She's crazy, and Whoopi's like, I gotta go. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Yeah, not good. And then the two other girls, Bonnie and Rochelle, are like, hey, Sarah, so glad you're alive, and we don't have powers, but love you. Bye.
That
and
was
Sarah's
the
like, go
most
fuck off.
awkward conversation
I hated
ever.
it. Yep.
They were like, sorry we, like, tried to kill you.
Yeah, don't. And I just assumed this was the next morning, which made it even funnier, and I'm sure it wasn't, but, like, to me, I'm like, you guys are so stupid.
But this was cool because they didn't actually come to apologize. They came to see if she had her powers still.
Yeah.
Because they did not have their powers, and this goes back to the theory that Sarah was the only one that had the powers, and basically they're like, we don't think she has her powers anyways, and then she, like, tries to, like, have a tree fall on them.
Pretty much, which I was like, that's scary.
Aggressive.
Yep. And then they don't die, and they're like, okay, we'll leave. Bye. And then again, Sarah's dad is just like casually walking in the background, like, hey, ladies, nice to see you. Bye.
No parents care about anything.
Nobody gives a crap.
Like, I
about anything.
love how I don't even know if he's like, hey, what happened to the mirror of your friend that ended up in the mental hospital? And she's like, Dad, come on.
God, Dad, stop asking questions. God, you don't know my life.
Dad, I just got my uniform, Dad.
It's very Napoleon Dynamite, honestly, of her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo!
We did it. Wow.
We did it, and it's a fun movie. But Bridge, what do you think? Would you watch it or don't watch it?
Watch it.
Yeah.
And Fairuza Balk deserves like an award because wow. Kate, watch it or don't watch it.
I would watch it. I'm not going to frequent it personally,
yeah,
but
it's not a
you know, it's a good pick for spoopy scary season. So
yeah, you don't need to watch this like a lot.
No.
You just need to watch it, remember it, giggle about it, and move on.
Yep. Well, Bridge, I have a pick for you.
Ooh, we got 2 more episodes left in spooky October.
Yes, we do. And let me go to IMDb because I don't know how to describe this without giving stuff away because I would give stuff away because I love this movie. Okay, so this is actually okay, so this is actually gonna be a little different than we're used to. And listeners, if you've been listening for a while, I'm sure you've kind of picked up on this unspoken fact at this point, but you know, Katie runs this podcast. And therefore,
Nancy, Sarah, Mano, and
I
everyone.
am Nancy. I am Mano. I don't know what anyone else's names was, but that's me. And so I'm actually going to make a bold decision, Bridge. So people think of it as a movie, but this is technically not a movie, what I'm going to suggest.
Oh.
This is technically considered a mini-series.
Oh.
But people think of it as a movie. We're sticking in the 90s, y'all. It's the best decade, let's be honest. This is 1990, and oh my God, Bridge,
Ooh.
there is one of the best actors in the world is in this movie. Very iconic role. Very different role from the other movie we did with this actor, and I will tell you more about that when I tell you the movie. I'm going to read the little synopsis. No, I can't read the synopsis. It's literally going to give it away. There's no other buildup I can do.
All right, what is it?
Okay, this is a great movie. A lot of people are afraid of this movie. There was a really pretty good, I would say, remake of this movie recently that was, again, kind of made in movie form, and some parts were different. But I know you've seen this movie. I know Dad has seen this movie a lot. I've seen this movie a lot. I love this movie so much. I love this movie so much that growing up, every year when I would have people come over to our house after trick-or-treating for Halloween, I would force everybody to watch this on VHS because, again, Katie's in charge, right? We see that. Okay. This is the 1990 miniseries about 7 children who have to face an evil force that shows itself in the form of a clown. This is it. Okay, but we're not going full throttle. We're gonna break it up because we got 2 episodes, so we're gonna just do the first part next week, and then
Okay. So first part is 1 episode.
Yes.
Second part is another episode.
Yes.
Oh, this is gonna be a scary one.
Stephen King. I love this movie.
This is a really scary movie, and
when was the last time you watched this, though?
It's like a kid. I feel like I watched this as a kid.
You haven't watched this more recently?
No, I don't like scary movies.
Bridget. Oh, I could quote most of this movie. So the reference I was making to the actor, this is Tim Curry, who again does an amazing job. He plays Pennywise, which is the evil clown, and this is a very different role than Wadsworth from Clue, because Wadsworth didn't try to kill me in a sewer.
We have done a lot of his movies. We've
only done 2.
Nope.
We did 3.
Oh, no, 4.
We did more?
Home Alone.
Oh my god, Home Alone! I forgot! Home Alone 2.
Fern Gully.
Wow. I love Tim Curry.
Oh my god, he can make those like crazy scary eyebrows.
He's so awesome. He is so awesome. We got Seth Green.
Oh my god, Seth Green!
Oh, John Ritter. He's there too.
Oh my god, look how scary Pennywise is.
Bridget.
They all float down here.
You'll float too!
I can't even look at it, Kate. I can't even look at Google Images.
Oh my god, Bridge! I thought you've like seen this more recently. I don't understand.
I remember it. I'm gonna be scared. And I live in a city, and there's lots of, grates, and what's under the grates, and I don't know, I don't know.
Just don't talk to anyone in the grates, that's all. Easy.
But, like, Halloween's coming, and what if somebody's dressed like a clown? And
they definitely will
I think it's fun, and they don't, and it's back to the phenomenon of scary clowns trying to kill people.
Well, Tim Curry's great, so, just focus on the good parts.
No, it'll be fun. I'll see if James will watch it with me and hold my hand.
All right, well, just remember, we're gonna pace ourselves, okay? So we're only gonna watch the first, it's called the first episode, it looks like.
Okay. You don't want to have like a 7-hour podcast to edit,
I
right?
absolutely do not. That's my nightmare. That's my, scary form that it would take in this movie.
Oh,
so,
God.
nope. But, yep.
Well, Kate.
Whew, Bridge.
If you invoked the power of Mano and it went to your head, somewhat like the way that you dictate people having to watch the movie It after
Bridget!
Halloween,
I regret nothing.
I would put a binding spell on you so you wouldn't hurt anybody or yourself anymore.
Okay. I mean, I guess I should thank you, but I disagree with that decision personally.
How Nancy of you.
That is very Nancy of me. Well, and Bridge,
Yeah.
I just want to say, if I was at your house and some man came in with a snake and said, "Hey, is this yours?" I would have a little bit more of a reaction than the dad did. And I'd be like, "Sir, you need to leave. I will be calling the police. Also, I'm calling animal care and control for that snake." So.
That's good, Kate. That's good. Appropriate reactions to things are always good.
Yeah. And listeners, if you also are afraid of Nancy and scary spirits that we don't really know if it's a spirit or what the definition is, and people breaking into your home with snakes, you should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. If you scroll down on the main page, there is a form you can fill out to request a movie. So, I am Nancy and I am taking over the next 2 episodes. But hey, don't you fret, because we will, look through our list. And if you give us a pick, we will do it at some point, okay? So don't be shy. Get on there. Give us some recommendations. And, Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee, which we will repurpose to buy spells.
Yes.
And workshops with real witches.
Yes, real witches who are men. I need to learn more about the lore and, the culture. I know absolutely nothing, but I want to ask about the feminist witch movement. And if anyone has information, please email us at sisterswhoseenit@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Every dollar helps.
Every dollar gets us closer to to witchcraft, okay? So keep that in mind.
Oh, me, oh my, Kate. This was fun. I love you.
I love you.
And, just the powers of the Midwest, I said to you.
Okay. Hashtag blessed be. All right.
You just turned that into like Whoopi Goldberg, but I love it. All right, listeners, we'll see you for Scary It. If I'm doing it, you could do it. I'm scared. Help me.
Guys, it's so fun. Like,
oh, God.
We're gonna have fun. I'm so excited. Okay.
You're gonna have fun!
It's gonna be fun. You're gonna like it. Or I will stab you. No, I won't do that.
Oh, my God.
All right, well, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.